Hey, Faith fam, Melissa here. If you're listening to or watching this episode and you want to increase your faith further, then go grab my books, The Entrepreneurial Prophet and The Spirit Led Leader, my newest book, 21 Prayers for Leaders at Work and in the World. Hey, if you're watching content like this, then I know that you're fueled by your faith and you are either a corporate Christian or a kingdom entrepreneur that doesn't want to play small and you want to be bold in your faith and be safe in spaces at work and in the world. And I want to give you tools to do that. By praying at work, you take the power of God outside the four walls of church, and this book gives you tools to implement your faith and see God-driven results in your workplace, from prayers and declarations you can make over your office for success, for your teams, clients, and more. This is just another tool in your faith walk to help you be seen, heard, and professional in your faith. Grab the books. And hey, if you want to take it a step further, there's even discussion questions that you can do with your team to help build your own community of believers right where you work. Let's get back to the episode. I know aligning your faith with your work may seem like a taboo thing. Like, do they even go together? Some of you may even be wondering, is it safe for me to even bring my Christian faith into workspaces or professional spaces? And that is exactly what professional faith is all about. It's a reverb of a statement, a personal quote from my TEDx talk, Can I Bring My Faith to Work? That says, My faith is professional. It's a declaration. Saying that my faith is professional is a declaration, even a decree that my faith belongs here. My Christianity belongs here, just like women belong here, just like men belong here, just like every ethnicity belongs here, every sexual orientation belongs here. My faith belongs here as well. And so oftentimes when we talk about diversity, equity, inclusion, we talk about career decisions and we want to foster belonging for people, it's under the generalities of race, gender, ethnicity, but we cannot forget that there's 7 protected classes and religion is one of them. But religion is not necessarily what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about a deeper belief system. Do you know that 44% of Americans, that's almost half, 44% of Americans pray daily when making important decisions? That's from Pew Research. So if that many people are praying daily about decisions, don't think for a minute those decisions aren't being made and prayed over in the workplace. What a perfect place to not only exhibit faith and character, but also align your beliefs and find a sense of belonging beyond the four walls of church. And if you're a leader of a company that has employee resource groups, affinity groups, consider what are the benefits beyond profitability to have Christian faith-based groups. And also, if you're an employee who may be saying, hey, I want to find more people like me in my workspace, don't think that it's far fetched to see that happen. There are countless cases and testimonies of how faith movements, even fellowship groups got started at Google, Apple, Facebook, all of these major companies, and it's happening. I'll call it a workplace revival. But if you're a corporate leader and you're saying, I don't know about the legalities of this, I don't want to offend anybody, what are the stipulations of it, then I dare you to consider why you should do it and look at the benefits. And here are the 3 benefits why having Christian faith-based resource groups, fellowship groups, and allowing employees to boldly articulate how they align their faith to their work. Benefit number 1 is your eternal impact. Imagine those that are on your team who they don't just see success as financial. Not everyone sees success financially. That is definitely a key factor in business, but it's not the only factor. And for the believer, eternal impact is just as significant as internal development. As a matter of fact, the two are connected. To the believer, their internal development hinges on the eternal impact made in the earth by bringing others to Christ, but also having a safe place to express a confession of their faith and feel a greater sense of belonging at work. I was listening to a podcast today, Mere Christians, amazing podcast, and it has been one of the catalysts that told me, like, hey, Melissa, there's room for this. And as I listened to it, they talked about employees that they intentionally look for someone that maybe is praying over their food in the break room. Or for me today, I was just taking a flight, and on the plane, I touched my hand on the airplane, and I said a quick prayer. And another gentleman saw me, and he said, "Amen." And it was like touching and agreeing. Or oftentimes, I may be in coffee shops or in bookstores, and I look and see who's reading the Bible or Christian material. We're looking for connectivity. And so if we look for connectivity in all these other places, people are looking for connectivity in your companies too. And faith is a part of that. It's not excluded. It's absolutely a part of it. So that's the first benefit, is eternal impact. Knowing that that employee, that Christ-centered believer that is at your job every day, highly values knowing that they are serving God daily in the work that we do. It is important that we take inventory of, did I bear the fruit of the Spirit? Did I have a righteous response instead of one out of anger in a moment of conflict? Do we exhibit love and compassion to the people that we serve? Those are the tenets of our faith, which leads me to number two. The second reason why it's important to align your Christian faith to your career, and also important to incorporate faith into your companies, is community. I know for me that was huge. That, yes, I can check the box of community of other women at work. I can check the box of other melanated women, Black and brown women of color, but those are just sectors of who I am. In totality, for me, and oftentimes for the believer, our first identifier is not necessarily the other factors. My first identifier is faith. And such may be the case for many believers, that their first identifier in making decisions is, how does this resonate with my faith? Is this a righteous decision that aligns with God's will for my life? And finding a community of other people who believe the same way. In that same podcast, which really excited me and it stirred my spirit to hear these testimonies of, again, what I call workplace revival. They talked about a gentleman who was at a work retreat, a leadership retreat, and he was really struggling with a major issue that was having in the company. He was worried about productivity and production. And those who were at the retreat, who were believers, they didn't just brush it off, or they wanted to honor that he had a worry or concern. It says, cast your cares and also confess, so that others know how to pray for you. And because he came to them with this concern, they stopped what they were doing and they prayed. He instantly felt a moment of connectivity, of connection. I can tell you personally, that's a secondhand one, but I can tell you firsthand, after 20 plus years in corporate, but being a believer for the bulk of my life, but getting deeper in my walk here, that recently intentionally looking for opportunities of discipleship, I've had moments of impact where, if I'm at a conference, I may take a moment to pause, to take a mental health break, a spiritual health break, and pray in a corner. I always pray to myself before I go on stage and speak. And it's those small moments, that small display of Christ, that draws. And it began to draw clients in my company The authenticity of being myself as a believer in corporate spaces, the safety to do that created connectivity to people who otherwise I would not know and do business with and have community with, which is why we're forming a deeper community here. Another reason why community is a big one is people highly value and they stay with companies where there is a community deeper than the work you do every day. Yes, we can come to our desk and we can get our work done, we can turn in our reports and do all the things, but people stick around and you increase retention when there's community and collaboration of people who genuinely care about doing life with you outside of your work. That is so highly valuable that we get the opportunity to be the church outside of church on Sunday. And here's the third one, which is highly valuable to companies and to the believer that is doing meaningful work in the earth, and that's legacy. To the believer, it's always our heart's desire to leave a lasting, living legacy in the earth. In John 15, it talks about bearing fruit that lasts. As for me, one of the tenets of my personal journey and desire for daily salvation is that God, I produce fruit in every company where I walk in those doors. Fruit in terms of character, integrity, in terms of caring for people. People remember that. And I want to challenge you. Think right now of a time you had a leader at your job, a team member, somebody who took the time. They may have been busy, they may have been rushing to do something, but they noticed you had a need. They noticed you needed support. They may have even noticed you praying and they took a moment to join you, or they did some small gesture of love, of kindness, of meekness, of humility that let you know you are not alone in that workspace. I'll give you a minute, think about it. I can think of countless testimonies as a leader of those connections that happen because of my desire to walk like Christ and make lasting legacy in the earth that doesn't just happen on a Sunday morning in a sermon. It happens in how we live our lives daily. It's a daily walk, and our work is a part of that walk. So, if this has been impactful to you on the 3 ways to align your career with your Christian faith, or as a leader, why you should consider having safe Christian spaces or resources for your team, I encourage you to join our community, the Professional Faith Family, where we are creating spaces to show that my faith is professional by profession of your faith in work and in the world. Just click the link in the notes. Reply to this below in the comments. Share with me your desire to align your faith with your work and how that will improve or help you show up even better at work and in the world. I'll see you in the next video. Join our community. Grab the book, The Spirit Led Leader 21 Prayers for Leaders at Work and in the World, and get equipped with tools, prayers, journal prompts, and devotionals to activate bold faith in workplaces. Whether you're a corporate Christian or a kingdom entrepreneur, your faith is professional.